Welcome back everyone. My name is Hathum again, here with some more great content for you. Today we're going to be talking about how I flipped a property at 24 years old. Crazy, right? But here recently we've heard a lot about flipping properties. What is that? What does it look like? And how in the heck were you able to do this at 24 years old? Well, I'm here to explain it to you. So first, what is flipping a house? We hear this a lot, but what exactly does this entitle? Flipping a house is buying a piece of property undervalued, doing some slight renovations of some sort. It could be extensive, but slight in the most part, and then flipping it or reselling it at a higher value and you taking the profits or proceeds. Flipping a house can be a very difficult process if you jump into this not really sure of what you're doing, but it also can be very beneficial if you do know what you're doing in terms of receiving that money from the sale of the property. What I kind of did in terms of setting myself up at 24 years old is I decided that this project, I wanted to do it step by step so I could learn each individual area. I wanted to make sure that when the next time it comes around, I don't want to rely on anyone. If I have a possible client that comes to talk to me, I want to be able to say, hey, listen, this is what you do. This is what we need to look for. So that's kind of how I tailored myself to do it at the very beginning. How we actually found the property, it was in Gastonia, North Carolina, if you're very familiar with that area. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful property that we were able to acquire. We actually got it foreclosed. So if you're not very familiar with the foreclosure process, here it is. Basically, when a house gets foreclosed, someone's not either paying, it could be a different kind of reason for that specific foreclosure. I won't go into the details as big into what is a foreclosure. That'll be another time for a different video. But with the foreclosure process, it goes to the court and they auction off that property. Well, me and another individual worked to go to the actual courthouse and submit bids on this house to acquire it. Now with foreclosure properties, it has to be all cash. You can't go to a bank and say, hey, listen, we want to take a loan on this property. No. Foreclosure houses is whenever the sale is due, whenever you actually acquire the property, you then have to pay for the property. And then there's an actual small little percentage that you put up every single time for these bids. So we were actually able to bid against different people that wanted this specific property in Gastonia and then acquire it once we won the bid. So once we actually acquired the property, perfect, good, dandy. Then comes the hard part to actually look in it. Another fun fact is you're not allowed to actually go even look inside the property or step foot on the property before you even bid on it. So you're doing your research, doing your due diligence until you say, you know what, this is going to be a good one. You don't know much about it. So that next step is once we actually acquired the property, we were able to get in there, start assessing the situation. This property was a mess in the inside. There was stuff everywhere. The carpet was destroyed. The walls were messed up. The kitchen area had been, absolutely demolished. But we saw potential in this property. The location. This house actually sat. Its backyard was a golf course. It was roughly about a 1,600 square foot, 4-bedroom, 2-bath house built in about 1960s, but it sat on a golf course. Beautiful. And we were able to see that potential, assess the situation, get information from subcontractors to see exactly what a kind of a cost to fix will look like, and we move forward. So from there, I actually did a lot of the hard work. We hired a subcontractor, just one subcontractor. Some people feel the need to hire, a more, I'd say, more expensive a contractor that may be able to do it more quicker. I actually decided the route if I wanted to personally take interest in this property and do some of the manual labor. So we hired one subcontractor that allowed us to kind of work on our own schedule. And we redid this whole entire house from top to bottom in the inside. New kitchen, new cabinets, new walls, new ceilings in some parts because they had the popcorn ceiling, which is, in my opinion, horrible. So we redid all of that. We gave them new appliances, new flooring. We went with LVT flooring. And then some areas of the house where it was already original hardwood floors, we kept it. So we wanted to keep that integrity of that 1960s house, but also refreshen it up to make someone that's new come look at this property interested in it. And that's exactly what we did. The process was a lot of hard work, tedious work on the weekends. I was working at that time, I was working a 9-to-5 job, working hard on the weekends to get this work done with the subcontractor. But it was just, it was tedious, but it was so much fun. Before I even stepped foot into flipping houses, I couldn't have told you what drywall, I couldn't have told you what a different kind of tools were, such as an impact drill. Like, I had no idea about anything. And it was such a huge learning curve. So if you're someone that's interested in taking that step, just be sure to do your homework. And then if you see something, don't be afraid to jump on it. Worst case scenario, you see the property, you jump on it, and then you obviously don't make the money that you're expecting, but it's such a good learning curve, because guess what? You can then take your experience and do what you did bad and correct it. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'm here, I'm an open book for you. So if you're interested in flipping houses, be sure to reach out to me. But just some more information on that specific house was, when you walked into this house, it had a living area, and in the back it actually had a screened-in porch, which kind of like overlooked to see the golf course area. I also had like a carport and some storage as well, just to kind of give you a visual. I also put some pictures in here too, so you can see that as well. But if we look from the before to after pictures, you wouldn't believe it's the same house. You just have to be willing that once you step foot in an endeavor like this, that you ended on the right foot. Meaning, you got to take responsibility. You have to be able to say, listen, this is what our budget is. This is what we can possibly go over. We don't want to do this. We need to do that, etc. One of the biggest things that really helped me with flipping the home was just keeping track of expenses and the different things that we were doing currently on the property, if that being landscaping, if that's being ordering different parts and pieces and fixtures from different companies, such as, like Lowe's or wherever else we were getting parts from, and different kind of things. But anyway, what we really wanted to focus on is our timeline, right? The longer you hold this property, the more money you're having to dump in it, the more money you're having to spend. If you're holding it over a year, you have to take into consideration taxes, interest, etc., right? So the way to set you up for success is make sure that, one, you're doing your homework, and two, make sure that you're budgeting. A lot of people don't budget. They go into this and they start throwing money, and they're not taking the right steps to set themselves up for success, meaning list the stuff. If you have a business credit card, use it and track your expenses through the budget sheet, add them to the Excel sheet. A lot of this stuff is kind of like a no-brainer, but they're things that kind of set you up better than other people and will save you money in the long run, right? When you're flipping a house, you're cost effective so that you can obviously sell for more, but you also don't want to be cost effective on things that's going to give you a nice little return on your investment. So you have to tailor yourself. If you're not someone that's buying the property, you're someone that you're an investor. Do you go with for example, the LVT flooring, which is going to be a more efficient, cost-effective way, or do you go with hardwood floor, which is super expensive and a pain, right? If there's hardwood floor, sure, refinish it. But if there's LVT, or if you have carpet and you want LVT, put the LVT in there. Okay, so if flipping a house is something for you, just to reiterate a few points, expect the unexpected, right? You can do all the due diligence that you possibly can, but at the end of the day, until you step foot in that house and assess the situation, there's always going to be something that comes up, no matter what, good or bad. So expect the unexpected. Additionally, make sure that you're budgeting and create an Excel sheet or just a budget sheet in general to track your expenses. So at the end of the time when you sell, you can actually find out how much you truly made off of this flip. And was it worth your time and the money? So make sure you're tracking your expenses. Those are the two biggest touch points for me in terms of what you should be doing and what to expect and look for. Flipping a house is a huge accomplishment for any individual. So if you are deciding to take that next step and invest in your future, you're definitely on the right track there. Visit my social media sites. I post almost daily there. Also, if you don't mind, like, share, subscribe this video. I would greatly appreciate it. Also, be sure to check out the next video. I think you'll really like that one as well. Again, thank you for watching, and I look forward to hearing from you soon.